Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to FRL for round number 9 here in Tier 2 for the Singapore Grand Prix. We are heading to the nightlife here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. 23 corners awaiting the 18 drivers here today in a distance of just over 5 kilometer track distance. Three DRS zones. Of course, the DRS zone on the pit straight, the DRS zone from the exit of turn 5 all the way down towards turn 7, and of course the DRS zone from turns 13 up to turns 14. We are getting underway here in qualifying, and we're going to see who will be the first car out on track, as it does look like there's a little spit of rain out there on track. And it is the intermediates going on the cars as we get ourselves underway and get ourselves prepared for what should be a very interesting race here at Singapore. And of course, we wait to see who will be the first man out on track. It is going to be the pole on those intermediates, and yet the spray coming off the tyres is apparent right now. However, it doesn't appear to be raining heavily, but it is heavy enough for the intermediate compound tyre, as it looks like Great Gamer has, he spun it already. So Great Gamer already going for a spin early in proceedings here in qualifying. So we're going to stay on board with Durpol, because he will be the first man to get ourselves underway here in qualifying. Looking at the Drivers' Championship though, Wester currently leads the way in the drivers' standings on 103 points, just 3 points ahead of the man in second place. That is Ryan Webb, who unfortunately is not here tonight, but we do have the man in third place currently on 98 points, only 5 points off Wester, and that is Doggarbs. So Doggarbs will be looking to jump himself up into second here tonight, maybe even get that first place in the driver standings. And of course we've got Aidan in fourth on 70 points, Muriel in fifth on 65 points, 63 points then for Game Freaks in sixth, Alpha Wolves in 7th on 56 points, and then a bit of a gap back then to Durpol on 39, and 30 points apiece for Oliver and Lib now, as we are about to get ourselves underway. So we'll stay on board with Durpol for this flying lap as he tries to get the best exit possible out of the final corner to start his lap, but break it down into turn 1. In the dry, you kind of want to be right in the inside curb there, but obviously in intermediate conditions you have to be very careful of the curbs as we break down into turn 5. Not really attacking the curb as you would normally see, but this would be where we'd have DRS wide open on the run down into turn 7, and Durpol there getting through it, and possibly one of the more tricky parts of the track, the turn 8 and turn 9 corner, as we head down towards turn 10, where the old infamous Singapore chicane used to be way back in the day. And now we go through 10, 11, 12 and into 13 at the hairpin. And of course on the exit here is where we'd have another DRS zone, which would lead us down towards turns 14. And Durpol there, just complete lapse of judgment perhaps. He's just gone straight into the wall. Unbelievable. But we'll go on board with Alex now, who has been able to keep his front wing intact as we come into the final sector through turns 16 and 17, and now towards 18 under the grandstands above. And Just a few more corners left through 20 and 21. Now the double left-hander of 22 and 23 to the line. What will this be for Alex? It's going to be a 55.1. I'm expecting pole position in the intermediates, if it stays intermediates, to be in around the 53s. I believe that a couple of these guys are possible contenders for doing that. As Game Freak say, a 54. We may even see a faster time come through, and we have Niels there joining late in the session, and we're starting to get a few lap times on the board now as we've got a McLaren to the line, and I believe that is Ryan Webb starting his flying lap. I think I said that Ryan Webb wasn't here. He is here. I do apologise. He is in the McLaren. So the top three all here, only 5 points separating first to third as we go into this round here today, and the rain appears to be slowing as everyone's just filtering around trying to get a lap on the board as we got Pricky to the line. 55.2, then Wester there with a 52.7, so already beating my expectations there in the intermediate conditions. I guess with the track drying, the times are getting a lot quicker. So Wester there, a 52.7, what a lap. As we got Alpha Wolves now in the final sector. Let's see what he'll be able to do as we go through the final two corners. To the line will come Alpha Wolves, big snap roast here, and he just pips pole with a 52.6 as we got Jason in the middle sector. Let's see what the second sector split is, a 15.4, and the rain has actually stopped now, so it is going to be going to the dry tyre. So I'm expecting to see everyone who is out on the lap right now to just peel off into the pits. There's no point. It's all about the dry compound tyres now. So we have just over 10 minutes left in qualifying, and the rain has stopped, and we will be getting ourselves underway for what should be a decent choice of what people are going to go for. Will they go for the mediums? Will they go for the softs? That's going to be the question, as Muriel actually puts in the new fastest lap with a 52.1. Obviously these laps right now are absolutely meaningless as it is going to go to the dry compound tyres. But it is the man in the Racing Point who is currently out on provisional pole, and you see he's 3 tenths up in the first sector. I don't think we'll be seeing him finish this lap, but you never know. Muriel, of course, the man in P5 in the championship, in a battle right now with the likes of Aiden, Game Freaks and Alpha Wolves for that coveted P4 in the Drivers' Championship. Be interesting to see who's going to come out on top in that particular battle, and of course the battle at the sharp end of the championship, the top three. Wester leading the way, just 3 points ahead of the man in second, which is Ryan Webb, and then of course the man in third is Dog Arbs, who's only 5 points off Wester, so 5 points separating the top three. And you can see the track drying out enough that Muriel is starting to lose time, and I think he has to peel off into the pitch. Yes, he does. So we got Great Gamer, who's just started his lap. So let's see how quickly these lap times fall. As we run down towards the first sector split, what's the time saying? It is purple in sector 1. And that is something that I am expecting to see happen over the next few laps at least. Everyone set in purple sector times as we head down towards turn 10 and now into 11. Over the left hand kink of 12. Big snap of oversteer there for Great Gamer as we break down there into the hairpin of turns 13. DRS wide open on the run down into 14. And now as we get into the meaty part of the circuit in the final sector, very easy to lose time, very easy to hit the wall as we go under the grandstand here of 18 and 19. Now into turns 20, open up the left hander of 21, and let's see how confident he is in the final 2 corners. If I left to the line, it's a 39.7, so we're a few seconds off the optimal dry tire times as we're waiting to see who will be the next man across the line. It's going to be a Red Bull who's just starting a lap, so it's actually going to be on Aiden, who is scraping the walls here. In fact, Oliver is up ahead, but looks like he's let this lap get away from him, and now on board with Aiden as we go through the final 2 corners. And it is, I don't know what it is, it looked like it was a 35, but yeah, it is a 35.9. It took a while for the game to update as Alex pops in a 36.8. Then we got the Williams of Game Freaks there, 36.3. And Doghouse, who is just starting the lap. We have the McLaren of Ryan Webb there popping up into second place. Then of course we got the, who have we got next? We got Great Gamer, who I don't think is improving. However, he does have Kyle R directly behind him, who is on a flying lap. Let's see what Kyle R can do. We'll keep an eye on Great Gamer this time, see if he does improve. He gets out of the way though. And to the line, Kyle R is up to P5, immediately dropped down to P6, because I believe that was Dirt Polo, popped up into P3. As Murrell is officially starting his lap, and Jason unfortunately invalidating on this one. Alpha Bull is about to gear himself up for a flying lap. We got Collar Killer in the final sector, and we'll see what he can do as we go under the grandstand once again. 4 corners to go, now only 2, and we'll see what time this is going to be for Cola Killer. It's going to be a 35.7. That's good enough for a provisional pole right now. As we got Dog Orbs now to the line. What's Dog Orbs going to do? Dog Orbs up onto pole with a 34.9, and that's more like the dry times that I was expecting here today. Meanwhile, we do have the Alpha Tauri's coming to the line now. Wester, he's out of ERS deployment, but it doesn't matter. He goes on provisional pole with a 34.6. What about his teammate? What can he do? Into P3 with a 35.4. And of course we got the racing point of Gozen about to give himself up for a lap, and we have Murrell who will be next across the line. What is Murrell gonna do as we come towards the line? It's gonna be a 35.2 up into P3 there for Murrell. As I'm expecting to see everyone now peeling off into the pits, as we've actually got Jason coming for the final 2 corners. until the finish line he'll come. And who have we just seen pop himself up? I believe that was, yeah, that was Alpha Wolves there. Massive lap time there from Alpha Wolves, gets him up onto the front row as it currently stands with a 34.8. It'll be interesting to see who will come out on top here, because those who are out on track right now, as we see Wester cutting every single corner possible, they're going to be hard pressed to get back to the pit lane in time. Dog Obs should be fine. The Alpha Tauris, I think, should be fine as well, as Wester is cutting every single corner, and I believe his teammate is behind him. However, with his teammate following him into the pits, they might have just done themselves over by staying so close on track with each other. They may have done. We will see if they get back out in time, but I know from personal experience that yeah, it's going to be a long old wait for them. I believe Muriel is coming to the end of his qualifying session as well. Jason not running any ERS, so we'll stay on board with Gozan, who's currently up in P5. In fact, he's backed off completely. That's probably his qualifying session. Or with Alpha Wolves, that's going to be his session over and done with. And the Alpha Tauris, they're unable to get out on track as predicted. So we'll go on board with Oliver as we run down into turn 1, not really taking enough of the inside curb there, and completely avoiding the curb there for turn 2. Let's see if he hits the curb for turns 5. He does clip it slightly, not really gaining the maximum amount of time he can in this first sector, but it doesn't matter though, because it is purple. And we go now into the heart of sector 2. Very flowing track Singapore can be if you get it right, and right now Oliver is doing a decent job, but it's very safe at the moment. Doesn't look aggressive enough to gain the most time out of this lap. DRS wide open once again on the run down into turns 14. 2.8 in the middle sector. As we go through 18 and 19 as Gozan has retired from the session. What can Oliver do? Only 2 more corners left. Oliver now into 22 and 23 to the line. It's going to be a 34.9, good enough for P4 right now. As we have the Williams of Game Freaks going to the line. Great gamer, unable to improve. What about Alex? Alex does improve, but not enough. Game Freaks here with a 35.1, not enough to get in pole position. What about Ryan Webb? Ryan Webb there with a 34.8, gets himself up onto the front row, and that's what he needs. He needs to be on that front row. As we got Kyle R now coming through the final 2 corners. What's it going to be for the McLaren? It's a 9/10 improvement, but it doesn't see him jump up any positions, as I believe we just had Cohen across the line as well. Dirtpole unfortunately has invalidated his lap time. We got Collar Killer currently on a lap 7/10 up, so this is looking like it could be a 34. Is he going to be able to get onto the front row though? In the Haas, to the line he'll come, and not only does he get on the front row, he gets himself onto pole position there, a 34.5. just under 300ths of a second quicker than Wester's lap time. So Caller Killer getting the best of the conditions, the best of the circuit, and getting the best here in qualifying. And that will bring an end to a pretty eventful qualifying session. It was intermediate to start with, then it started to dry up, and it is Caller Killer who has come out on top here in qualifying at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So we'll run you through the order one more time. It is Caller Killer who puts it on pole just under 300ths of a second ahead of Wester, the championship leader, in second place on that front row alongside Caller. Then we got Ryan Webb and Alpha Wolves locking out the second row. Dog Obbs and Oliver on the third row in 5th and 6th. Then we got Game Freaks in 7th, Merle in 8th, Gozen in 9th, and Pricky rounding out the top 10, all within a second of the pole time. Good going there. Then outside the top 10 we have Aidan, Dirtpole, and everyone I think just readied up, which is unfortunate, but it happens. We'll go through everyone else now. Oh my god, it is raining here in the race, and this is going to be very intriguing as the clouds have come out here at Singapore, and it is chucking it down. It is looking like the kind of conditions that we are accustomed to here in the UK right now. It is always raining, especially for me in Wales, but you know, we move. I enjoy the rain. I think it does throw up a little extra bit of spice in the races, especially around a circuit such as this, where it's already so difficult, so demanding for these drivers out there today, that the wet is going to throw an added element to it, and it is a full wet compound tyre on everyone's cars. And as I was saying, I was going to go through the rest of the grid. So outside the top 10, they don't have free choice of tyre compound because it is the full wet conditions. But it is Aidan in 11th, Dirtpole in 12th, Alex in 13th, Kyle R in 14th, Cohen in 15th, Jason in 16th, Great Gamer in 17th, and then we got Nils, who joined the session late, down there at the back of the grid in 18th place. Now the question is, who is going to be able to come out on top here? It is pouring it down here at Singapore. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few people maybe just getting a little bit tail happy here on the formation lap. But we will keep an eye on the championship as well. So, you know, Wester, the man leading the championship, currently in second. Then you got Ryan Webb, who's second in the championship, right there with him. Dog Obbs will be starting directly behind Ryan Webb. And then of course we got the battle between the likes of Alpha Wolves, Game Freaks, Mural and Aidan for who's going to be walking away in P4 after this race. As we come towards the end of the formation lap now for our pole sitter, but I mean we see towards the towards the back of the grid, everyone is just coming through the end of sector 2. I want to hear predictions from you guys. Who do you think is going to come out on top as the winner here today? We've got Indigo in the chat saying, have a good evening, mate. Thank you very much. As we await the 5 red lights to get us underway here for round number 9 at Singapore. It is full wet conditions. The wet compound tyres are out to play. It is 31 laps of the Marina Bay Street Circuit awaiting these guys. And Aiden has left the session once again. Hopefully that does not glitch out the lobby. Everyone is kind of just stuck on the grid right now. Yeah, I think we have a glitched lobby going on here, guys. As we have everyone discussing in Discord now what we are doing. So I'll wait to update you on that. Believe it will be a restart here, so we're just waiting now to see who is going to be the first person to set up a new lobby. I believe Aiden, who lagged out of the session, maybe chucking it on. Aiden, of course, a man who lagged out just as we were joining the grid positions, and of course this will take away slightly in terms of what we could possibly see in terms of a race here, as no matter what happens, everyone will be dealing with a different kind of race in the restart. Of course, it will be most likely set to the same kind of conditions that we have right now, but custom lobbies never really have the same conditions throughout the race. The weather may be a bit lighter, maybe a bit heavier, so we'll have to see. As we're starting to get people now leaving the session. So we're just waiting for an invite now to the new lobby. So one more time I will go through everyone so everyone will know where they're supposed to be positioning. So it was Cola Killer on pole, West in second, Ryan Webb in third, Alpha Wolves in fourth, Dog Abs in fifth, Oliver in sixth, Game Freaks in seventh, Mural in eighth, Gozen in ninth, Pricky rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 then we had Aiden, Durpol, Alex, Kel R, Cohen, Jason, Great Gamer and Nils rounding out the rest of the grid. So hopefully everyone will have that memorized, and when setting up the custom lobby they'll be able to do that ASAP. And of course now we just gotta wait for the invite, and hopefully we can get ourselves underway shortly. Of course, not only do we have tier 2 going on right now, we also have tier 1 going on as well. If you guys want to check out the tier 1 stream and see what's happening over there, be more than welcome to jump on over, but make sure you come back. So while we wait for the new lobby to set up, guess right, there we go. We have an invite. Guess we'll ask everyone in the stream how they doing. What are their plans for the weekend? Of course, mine will be centered around the Six Nations Championship. Do like a bit of rugby, and it'll be great to see the opening games this weekend. So just waiting for one more person to join. We're just gonna wait for the go ahead. We are still waiting for one more person to jump into the lobby, and I believe, who are we waiting on? So we got Western, we got Ryan Webb, we got Doug Robson. Who are we missing? Not entirely sure who we are missing, but we are missing someone. Yep, he is in now, so we're starting to get underway. There will be no formation lap this time. We're just going to be jumping straight into the race. And of course, we want to remind everyone to not change their setups now they know the conditions of the race. As Jason hasn't picked his car. That would be unfortunate for Jason, but for those who had a wet setup going into qualifying, they look like they're going to be in the advantage right now in terms of being able to cope with the conditions. Those who are using dry setups or maybe a modified dry setup may struggle early on. So of course we are waiting now to just jump on into the race. Hopefully no one readies up immediately. Allow everyone to get their setups. Please guys, no one ready up immediately with a default setup. You'll put pressure on everyone to rush around with the setups. Of course, like to clarify that everyone should be keeping the same setups that they used in the first race, as Alex is the first one to ready up. as everyone will now be getting underway. Of course, we will be going straight into the race. So here we go with the 4, 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway here for round number 9, and what a start there from Ryan Webb. Immediately jump ahead of Collar Killer as Alpha Wolves, who's down the inside, and oh, there we go, Collar is off track. Looks like a good clean start up into the race lead. Collar Killer there balking down off the start. He's already down into 6th, but he's going to try back down the inside of Gozen there in the battle for P5, and it looks like Dogovs there under pressure from Durpol side by side on the run down in towards turn 5. Very late on the brakes there from Dogovs, as we are starting to see some connection issues, as oh no, Aiden is around. Aiden is around and he will drop towards the back. We're starting to see a lot of lag going on between some of these guys here. Everyone on 1 bars, and that is not good, as Aiden has left the session once again. So Aiden's internet really struggling here today, as we are starting to get a lot of lag issues here today. Not on my end, but it appears that we got a lot of lag issues here today. But as we come towards the end of lap 1, it is Wester who currently leads ahead of Ryan Webb. Alpha Wolves getting himself up into 3rd. Oliver into 4th, Gozen into 5th, Durpol into 6th, and Collar Killer from pole position down to 7th at the end of lap 1. As we get the inevitable Codemasters timing glitch, and we'll await for the deltas to sort themselves out. Meanwhile, I'm going to do a quick speed test on the fly to see if it is my internet that's going off on one, or whether or not yeah, it does appear to be my internet. So I do apologize if this is not working on the stream too well. I am doing my best. Of course, we've got yellow flags, as I believe that is Cohen around. Oh, yep, Cohen around there on the entry into turn 5, and yellow flags are out. So I hope everything will start to sort itself out a bit better now. We're still waiting for these deltas to sort themselves out, these timing deltas, as we get our driver select back up and moving. And here we go, we're starting to get the deltas coming through. We're on lap 3 of 31. The closest battles we have on track are in this midfield pack. As Game Free say, getting very wide, this might be an opportunity for Dogovs to have a look. And yes, Dogovs is going to get the traction. What about Murrell? Going to look around the outside, maybe look for the switchback actually. Let's get the car turned in for the better exit, but is he able to get the run? A little bit of contact made between them. impossible for me to know what's going on with this kind of lag that I am experiencing. Unfortunately, this does appear to be on my end. I do apologise. I have been dealing with a decent amount of internet issues as of late. Of course, Great Gamer out of the race, and that's a full course safety car. A full course safety car there, because Great Gamer, he has lost it on the straight, and he is in the wall. His front wheel is off, and he is around, and everyone has been slowed to an absolute crawl. As Muro picks up a 5-second time penalty for collision with Game Freaks. I believe Aiden left the session once again. But we are under the safety car, so everyone will begin to bunch up again. Wayne Webb will be able to bunch back up to Wester. And for Dog Arbs, this is a bit crucial, but it looks like, yep, no front wing on the Williams there. As he peels off into the pit lane, it's going to be a new front wing and a lot of work for the Williams driver to do here today. As Game Freaks again, very wide. Visually, it looks like his wing is intact, but I don't know. As our leaders have